Hey, good morning, everyone. Well, I don't know when you're going to see this, maybe on Friday. Vicki and I are on our way back to Arizona from California. We are in California currently, and we stopped to see a friend that we've never met before. So I want to introduce someone that's been following us for a couple years, and he invited us to come by and pick up some free wood. So, you know, I jumped all over that. So anyway, guys, I want to introduce Jack.
Hello, I'm Jack.
Jack, what's your last name?
Shafer.
Shafer. And so where are we at?
We are in a little town called Parlier, about a half hour south of Fresno, and Parlier.
Parlier.
It's actually a French Parlier, but it's
Gotcha. I've seen it on. I never knew how to pronounce it. I've seen
Yeah.
it going south on the freeway,
Yeah.
but I never knew how that was pronounced. But we're near.
Fresno.
We're like south of Fresno.
About a half hour down the 99 on
Gotcha.
Fresno.
Gotcha. And so you evidently have been following us for a period of time.
Yeah, I think probably a couple years. I just started retiring from farming slowly,
Yeah.
and knew I didn't want to just sit around when I retired, so I started playing with some wood and got a laser and a few pieces of equipment, and I'm not sure how I happened across your site, but
Nobody is. It's kind of weird how it just kind of comes up as one of those videos on the right hand side, and then somebody clicks on it. But
yeah, early on I was so enamored by your folks and your what's the word? The genuineness of what you do,
Yeah.
and especially with your dad, Dave.
Yeah.
I'm a fifth generation here on a farm, grew up around my grandpa and around my dad, and just seeing you interact with your dad just brings back so many fond memories. I farmed with my dad for many years before he turned the farm over to me when he retired, and then he passed away actually in this house as well as my grandfather, and so it's just
we've been talking for the last hour or so about Jack being a fifth generation farmer, and he literally, you grew up in this, you grew up in the house next door, but you spent your childhood, I'm sure,
here on the farm,
and in this house, and
my grandpa, his hobby was raising sheep, so he had actually a herd of I think 40 or 50 sheep, and
so that was a hobby, like showing them, like
not really. He just raised them, and he was early member of the I forget, it was California Wool Growers, I think it was. And
really?
But my fondest memories of him were I found out later about what he was doing. But for instance, there's an old pig pen out here that was falling apart. The wood was rotten, and my summer was coming down and helping him rebuild the pig pen or this or that or whatever. And once I was older and he was gone, my dad told me that he created those things so that he could do things with me.
Aww.
And so that
Amazing.
was such a cool memory of my grandpa. But I
Yeah.
remember, there's lots of stories I could tell of him working with the sheep and me holding the sheep while the vet did his job and all those types of things. Just a lot of memories here on the farm. So
Amazing. So you've only been woodworking then, relatively speaking, a fairly short time.
a couple of years, 2 or 3 years. Yeah,
Right.
I slowly got into it when I saw retirement down the road here on the farm. I just wanted something, and I remember back in school when you take those aptitude tests, you know, that's one thing that I remember from that. It says that I would, enjoy doing things with my hands, which I always have. So it was just something I kind of.
So making the transition from being a farmer, where you're always doing something with your hands, basically one way or the other, and having that aptitude and switching it over to woodworking is just a different medium, but you know, you're still doing stuff with your hands.
Yeah,
So,
a friend of mine told me once, he said, well, you're just going from welding on metal to working with wood, because I was always, welding on farm equipment and fixing and stuff
grew up doing that stuff.
I'm still doing some welding for a couple friends that are farmers that don't have a big welder. They come over and we work on equipment, that type of thing. But
So your land is around us. You're not farming it anymore, but now you're leasing it out somebody else that's farming it.
Correct,
Yeah.
yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. And you guys are planning on kind of moving north here
Yeah.
within the next few years, huh?
Yep, yep.
Yeah.
Our son is over in Colorado, and we're gonna
Mm-hmm.
probably be over there with him in a few years. I've got 2 little granddaughters, 4 and 5-year-olds.
Oh.
Grandma wants to be with the grandkids.
Grandma wants
Yeah.
to be with the
Mhm.
grandkids.
I can understand that. Yeah, absolutely. So, from a woodworking standpoint, I know you got a CNC,
Mhm.
although that's over the other place. We
Yeah.
haven't looked at that yet. CNC and a laser. So
Mhm.
you're doing that stuff. And so that's the fascinating part to me. Even though you're doing stuff that is computer controlled, you kind of latched on to us because of the family,
Dynamic.
The vibe, yeah.
genuine thing
Yeah.
that we do.
Well, that was one of the big things, but
Mhm.
also a lot of the things that you teach and share with people are applicable to any kind of woodworking, not just the woodworking
Right.
hand sign.
Kind of the peripheral stuff that might be
The
joining
finishing,
boards
the
together.
choosing lumber, the joining of boards,
Right,
but
right.
more than anything, it was just the realness of you folks. You're just so funny and so educational. And I look at I imagine, I should say, the size of the impact that you folks are making, actually
No.
worldwide,
Yeah.
and
crazy.
creating a family of folks that have a common interest in woodworking, even though most of the stuff I do is with CNC or the laser.
Yeah.
I'm still working with wood. I'm putting things together. I'm
Mhm.
building. I get a lot of what I guess got me into it was with the beetle kill here in California. It
Mhm.
was so bad. And it started actually with our old barn out back. That was actually built in the 1800s, and it was rolled down the road to this.
Really?
The story was beer bottles. I'm not sure how true that is, but
Oh
it was
my
rolled
God.
down the road. But a lot of that old barn wood, the barn is kind of fallen down here and there, and
Yeah.
I started reclaiming some of that and CNCing some
Yeah.
oval frames out of barn wood and things
Yeah.
like that. That's one of the reasons I got the CNC. But then when the beetle kill blue pine thing hit all the dead trees,
Yeah.
I enjoy taking something, whether it's old reclaimed wood from the farm or trees that are destined for the wood pile,
Yeah.
and I enjoy making something that people appreciate.
Yeah.
That just brings so much joy.
And
so
that
that's-
beetle kill just has a unique look to it that is it's so unique, and it's fun to work with. It's fairly soft.
Yeah.
From a freehand standpoint, it carves pretty well,
Mhm.
and it just has so much character to it. And they're so unique. I love that stuff.
It does I'm not sure, because I do the CNC, I'm not sure about hand carving. You probably know more about that, but it changes so much from where the blue is to
Oh,
where
yeah.
the other is. It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
going from frozen butter to melted butter, going
Yeah.
in between the two.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. But it still is. It's the few pieces that I've carved. It's not like it's real chippy. Like
Yeah.
there are parts of redwood that I don't really like because you can get a piece of redwood even though it's all soft. There's parts that'll be chippy, and you really have to be careful with that. This pine isn't that way. It's not like parts of it are dangerous. It's just the hardness goes a little bit in and out kind of thing. But once you get used to it, yeah, it's and it just when you put a finish on it, it just is so. When I first saw it, it's like that's ugly. I don't.
Yeah.
But once I started playing with it and then throwing a finish on it, it was like, wow, that is so unique looking. It
Yeah.
almost has that granite marble kind of thing feel to it.
It's been interesting working with it too. When a lot of what I make that's not signs, I don't fill the holes on it and that type of thing.
Yeah.
I like the history of that tree, even if there's a spot where a knot was, where a limb has been broken off and you can tell there's some injury. I leave that stuff just because it kind of tells the story of the tree.
Yeah.
But it was interesting. I've made a number of benches, with it, and even there, sometimes if it's a huge hole, I will fill it with some sawdust and glue. But
Yeah.
a lot of them I leave open, but then I finish over the top of it.
Yeah.
And I had one bench that I finished, and it was probably a couple months later I was actually taking it to And I got over there, and there's sawdust around one of the holes that had just been finished over.
Oh my gosh, there's still a
Evidently,
beetle
there was
in
a
there.
little booger in there.
Still a
It came
bug
out,
in there,
so
yeah.
he didn't say let me out, but anyway, it's been fun working with that stuff. I
Yeah.
do need to tell you though, I just recently bought DeWalt 611.
You did? Okay, good.
So you're getting me sucked
That you're
in.
gonna mount in your CNC?
No, no.
You're gonna try the freehand
Well,
thing, huh?
you know, probably about a year ago, I think I mentioned to you, I bought a base plate from you folks for the 618, and with some issues I have, it's just too heavy. And
Too much, yeah.
so this last trip before we went over to Colorado, I bought a 611 thinking I would use it over there, and I didn't get a chance to,
Yeah.
but I just recently took the base plate off the 618 and modified it to go.
Oh, you
on
re-drill the holes?
Re-drilled it for the 611, so
Yeah.
I actually tried, I shouldn't be confessing this to you on tape, but yesterday
So
I
you started on the dark side and we pulled
you're
you
sucking
in.
me into the light. But I have a couple signs that I made mistakes on with
Yeah.
the CNC.
Yeah.
So I used that lettering and was just trying to trace around them just to see if I could.
And
do
that,
it.
that really becomes an advantage, going either way. It becomes an advantage once you gain a little bit of skill to be able to touch some things up by hand.
Mm-hmm.
Then if something goes wrong in your CNC operation, you have the availability to go in there. But they really do, as much as I goof around and dark side and all that, they really do complement each other. And there's a lot of our guys that started freehand that then, and they didn't necessarily go CNC because they wanted to create different things, but they wanted to create a production aspect because they're doing it from a business standpoint.
Right.
Different than what you are. They want to create more business and they want to be able to add high production to something that they're making. So then it makes sense for a CNC. But having the talent and skill of being able to do it freehand really adds so much availability to do different things.
In fact, I'll show you one when we go down there. I actually have a small sign that when you program a CNC, it, of course, automatically changes the depth of the carving depending on the width of the. So when I've got a sign that has wide letters and then I've got some script or something that's very fine, if that board isn't absolutely flat, if there's a few thousandths dip in that wood, that fine lettering isn't there.
Disappears.
It's not there.
It
So I've got
disappears.
one of those that once I practice a little bit, I'm going to try to go back in.
You
and
can do it by hand and
compare
fill that in.
Plus, I tried your background just a little bit, just for fun. That just looks like so much fun when you do that.
It is. Once you start doing that, it is. And then you can add that aspect to doing outside letters with your CNC. So this is gorgeous. This is, you guys, you haven't seen this house, but this house is amazing. There's just history everywhere. Jack just took me through the hallway and I saw generations of Shafers up and down the hallway.
We've been here a
amazing.
while.
Yeah, oh my gosh, it gives me chills just thinking about all the memories that were made and people that were involved and family that was involved in this property. Amazing.
Actually, this house, the bricks that it was built with, 400 yards down the road, there's a canal that goes across. There used to be a home on the other side. The fellow that lived there made all the bricks for this house.
Wow.
Crazy.
See?
Amazing.
Everything has history.
History, yeah. Well, when you 5 generations and you grew up hearing stories from your grandparents and great grandparents and all that, showed us trees out here that his great grandmother planted. What are they? Oaks?
They're
they're oaks.
1892.
Planted, and they are hundreds of
Massive,
feet
yeah.
high. I mean, they're humongous. Anyway, okay. What is that back there? Oh, that's just a board. Looks like a table.
You saw wood in your radar.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like a table
Yeah, it's a
leaf
leaf for the table.
Leaf for the table. Okay, so is there any questions that you have for me? Anything that I know we're just guys. We didn't really prepare this. We just Vicky said sit down and talk. So Is there anything that I can answer for you?
Actually, I had a couple that I thought of when I knew you were coming, but they have left me right for the moment. And
As soon as we leave, you'll remember.
I had a
Yeah.
couple for Vicky, and I asked one of them when you were going to get the truck. So I don't have any right at the moment.
Anything to do with freehand? Try and trigger some freehanding or.
Not really. You
Okay.
kind of cover it with all your videos. I watch. I got to tell you, I think. Well, I told you earlier, my wife is a big Hallmark fan, and
Yeah.
especially when by the beginning of June they start their Christmas programs. And
Oh,
Mhm.
I've seen every one. I think 10 times so far. So I
Yeah.
put my earphones on my laptop in my lap, and I watch Make a Wood Sign. So stay up on it. I almost never get to do the Facebook Live with
Yeah.
you. I am there. I'm just watching it usually later in
Yeah.
the evening. So,
Oh,
but
that's
I
very
really
cool.
enjoy it. And
Yeah,
it's-
Vicky is big on watching. She watches
Bones
and
and NCIS.
NCIS, and I'm watching fishing videos.
Yeah.
Generally, I'm on YouTube watching fishing videos.
Well,
All right,
that's the
my
other
friend.
one I do is golf. I
Ah.
my wife, Marcia, with her work early on in her business, part of her, not job description, but responsibilities would be to golf with clients
Sure.
or with, for,
She's in the insurance industry. Yeah.
but also with organizations
Yeah.
like nonprofits and different things. And early on in her career, she said, "I will do anything that I need to do in this business,
Yeah.
except golf, because I don't want to golf." And then she started golfing, and she has golfed for 25 years now.
Really.
And I have said adamantly, I do not want to go out there and chase that little ball around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And now she's not really interested in it because she's kind of in a transition phase. And my sister golfs, my twin sister actually,
Yeah.
and she came down and I golfed with her a couple times, and I think I'm hooked. So
For somebody, I was. That's funny because I love golf as well. I'm a hack, but for a while I was playing, once a week fairly consistently. And for somebody that doesn't understand, they just don't know what that feeling is like. And my granddaughter was like, we were driving somewhere and we passed a golf course and she said, "Do you golf?" And I said, "Oh, I love that game." She said, "I don't get it," but she's a softball player. And I said, that feeling you get when you just hit one and you rip it right over third base, line drive, and it just felt so sweet. That's the feeling.
Yeah.
And she goes, "Oh, wow, I can understand that."
yeah, it can.
Yeah.
You can.
It can grab you.
I can mishit 40 balls, or
Yeah.
mishit
You hit one good one
17
during the
drives.
whole
If I
round.
get one good one for the day, then
That
I'll
brings
go
you
home
back.
happy.
Yeah, that brings you back. But I'm just thinking with your shoulder and your hip and your
Yeah,
ailments,
the hip is
that's
doing
got
it.
to be a little bit of a challenge.
It's messing up the hip a little bit more.
Yeah.
But,
Oh well, she'll get out there.
yep.
All right, guys. Well, I think we have taken enough of your time. It's been a pleasure, my
It's
friend.
been
So much
awesome.
fun.
Awesome
So
meeting
much
you
fun.
in person. But I
Yeah,
said earlier that when we first shook hands,
yeah,
you both have been very close friends of mine for a long time,
That's
just
crazy.
because of the whole atmosphere that you create with your
Yeah.
websites and all that, with
Yeah.
your videos. You just you're very endearing. You're very genuine. Very open.
I'm humbled.
And to watch Vicky share her mistakes, watch you share your
Yeah.
mistakes with us.
Yeah,
That's encouraging for all of us out here that are 30 years behind you in the woodworking, not in age. But,
yeah.
so anyway, I really appreciate for all that you both do.
Well,
Thank you.
it's we have so much fun knowing that what we do does impact people in a positive way, and then when it's such a bonus when we get to meet people. Oh, it's just crazy.
It's like you
Crazy
said,
fun.
it's not awkward when we meet somebody. It's
Yeah.
not like, don't know what to say.
Yeah.
So just go and visit family.
Yeah, that's really what it's like. It really is like, we've been talking to these people for years.
Exactly.
And in a lot of chances, we talk back with them either on the phone and it's just like meeting extended family. It's just like having a whole world of cousins
Exactly.
that we just haven't had
Yep.
a chance to meet yet. So so much fun, so much fun. Thank you so much, and you guys will probably be seeing some projects coming up and I will definitely let you know that I got some really nice pieces from Jackie. So, and Vicky actually got some nice rock
Ooh, yeah.
that she's going to be
Yes.
doing on some projects. So,
My brain
Anyway.
is trying to figure out right now exactly how that's gonna work.
yeah, you'll figure it out.
I know.
Yeah. So thanks so much, guys, for watching. Hope this was helpful and entertaining to some extent. Jack is, I know we've talked many times via email, and so I'm just really glad that we were able to have a few minutes to
Just
stop
so you
by.
know, he almost forgot.
Oh.
Yeah, we left this morning, and just so much, emails and stuff. And Vicky said, "We're gonna stop and see Jack," and I go, "Oh my gosh, I'm glad you remembered because I completely forgot." When you get on the road and you got a 9-hour drive, you're thinking, "Oh."
It's all he gets in that at home, gotta
Get
work
home, yeah.
mode. Yeah.
But I'm glad you remembered. Glad. So anyway, that's it, guys. Thanks so much again, and you guys know how to get a hold of me. And if you want to, this was actually going to take a place of a Zoom. So this was like live interview, which is really cool. If you guys want to be part of that Zoom thing, hit me up, eric@makeawoodsign.com. We'll set it up, and I just think it's so cool. Everybody gets to meet other people that are in the community.
Yeah.
So we love you guys. Thanks again, buddy.
All right.
I had
This
so
has been
much
awesome.
fun.
Thank you.
Much fun. So much fun. So we'll see you on the next one, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.